What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 155 of the Clever and Original Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Kayley Misialek. Alongside me, the man with the plan, Jayden Reinhart.
Yeah, I'm back.
No, you're not.
No,
you still don't have a fucking plan.
Sometimes I do have plans, but they're gotta be such a negative Nancy.
Nope.
Well, this guy has a plan of always wearing the Nirvana shirt, JJ Larson.
I made a point to do it this time, actually.
We should put up a sign in back.
Yeah.
Days since Nirvana shirt has been, or like days since Nirvana shirt has
Episodes.
not been worn. Yeah.
Zero.
I don't wear it every day. I actually only wear it one time a week, which would be today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We believe
That's
you. It's
cool.
fine.
Mm-hmm.
There's no proof of this.
I mean, I
I
don't wear clothes like that many times before I wash them. You know.
Don't see you except from here, so for all they know, you always wear that.
That's possible, but
There's also no proof that you have lower legs.
That's true.
I mean, not for any of us. We could just be floating in like.
We could just be like top halves of a body.
We could have robot legs, snake things, mermaid
like a
things.
centaur sort of.
Centaur.
Yeah.
Could just have like a little jet.
Yeah.
Like a really quiet one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. I could dig that.
And just fly around.
You wouldn't need stairs. You would just have like an elevator shaft basically, and you just. It'd be an up
Just
and
like
down.
If it was really loud.
Just like, I gotta go upstairs.
And
Just like it burns the floor.
Yeah.
Everyone would live in like cement buildings.
Yeah.
Cement would get stained, you know.
I mean, better
You
than
just
burning
wash it
down.
off, I guess.
Yeah.
So if you haven't listened to us before, we are the Clever and Original Podcast. We talk about comic book movie type stuff, video game type stuff, particularly in that order. So let's get on with some news. It is official. We have been talking about it for months now. Disney has bought 20th Century Fox.
Yes.
And
it's happened.
One of the big things, obviously, is that they get the X-Men, Fantastic Four, etc. This has been a story that we've been following for months, probably since probably since Thor Ragnarok came out.
Yeah, so
around that
last
time.
November.
A lot of talks, but
Yeah.
Yeah, it's official now. Fox shareholders voted on it, and it's official. Disney is going to buy is going to purchase Fox.
Well,
Subject to regulatory approval.
Yeah.
So not quite official, but
getting
as
there.
close to official as.
Everyone agrees that they want it to happen now.
Right. Yeah.
So
They can't. They're not getting outbought by Comcast now.
Yeah.
That's
They're
good.
Bidded, I guess I should say. So, thoughts on this deal? I know we've talked about it a lot.
I mean,
but
I don't have much else to say other than that. I expected it to happen.
I mean, as far as Disney being the next world power, it's kind of bad.
Yeah.
But as far as Marvel being able to like work with X-Men,
it's
X-Men.
good. That's what I like.
Yeah. Like I like that. One hand, it's like, someone said if like now that this has happened, Disney owns like 40% of the box office.
Mm-hmm.
Which is essentially the majority because no one owns over 40.
It's a plurality.
Yeah, it's a plurality. So they have the biggest, but they don't have half.
Right.
So
like I was saying like I don't think there was a winning situation because I think if the Comcast bought it, it would kind of be the same thing.
Oh, except Comcast fucking sucks.
Because Comcast owns Universal, which is, I believe, the second biggest one behind Disney. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't like it was gonna be. It maybe would be more competitive if Comcast bought it, but still not as competitive as we would like it, as it is currently. Mm-hmm. So Disney gets a lot of access to a lot of franchises, not just like the X-Men and Fantastic Four, which are obviously the most in people's minds and the most anticipated. But they also get access to like Avatar, Alien franchise. I believe Predators.
Yeah,
in there
Predators,
too.
Fox.
Simpsons.
Yeah, The Simpsons. And then a few other Fox stuff.
I'm just excited for X-Men, of course.
Right.
That's what I want. So.
The Simpsons meets Marvel.
Yeah, let's hope
Right.
not.
Yeah.
The Simpsons Civil War.
Oh God.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Bart Simpson as Captain America.
I guess that includes
Homer Simpson is Doctor
I guess that
Strange.
includes Futurama too.
Yeah, Futurama. Yeah.
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 I mean, to whatever
I mean, that's probably never coming
that would
back.
bring.
though,
Yeah,
at
it's
this
pretty
point.
dead now.
Unless
I mean, it had
brings-
to. I was satisfied with how it ended.
Yeah.
So I just, at this point, it's so many things don't have a satisfactory ending.
Right.
Right.
Drag it until it's dead,
Yeah.
which is
And they
That's
keep
something
crap.
then they keep beating it.
So I'm
Um,
satisfied.
So yeah.
it'd be cool if they got like all the creators together. for
And like made
Futurama and,
like a new
Well,
show.
they're
something
making
else,
a
yeah.
new show.
Are
The
they?
creators are. It's on Netflix. It's called. What's it called? I just had it here not that long ago. Here, if I can bring it up real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was.
It's called. I think it's called Disenchantment.
Oh, I've seen that.
It's
I guess-
gonna be on Netflix, and it's definitely has the art style of like Futurama and Simpsons. Definitely made by the same people, Matt Groening.
Oh man, I'm actually pretty excited for
Set
that.
in a medieval world of dreamland. They encounter fantastical creatures like ogres, spirits, and trolls, or sprites and trolls. So yeah.
I guess that makes a lot of sense for them to use that setting too, because there was that Futurama episode where they had a lot of fun with like the fantasy world.
Yeah, and it's
So
like,
it seems like they want to go there.
well, it's like, and it's different, right? Like,
yeah.
Simpsons are like modern day, like family stuff, right? Like
Mm.
a family sitcom, basically. And Futurama is, sci-fi sitcom, right?
Yeah.
And now it's going like fantasy, and, different sort of genres on the same topic or like genre or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that doesn't make sense. Different genres in the same sort of format.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. But
I'm
yeah, should be interesting to see what Disney does with all those other franchises. Obviously,
Mhm.
excited for the Marvel stuff, but also interested to see what happens elsewhere with the Fox purchase.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's official, at least the transaction.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if it's
Rule
approved.
check it. Yeah.
So yeah, continuing on the same sort of subject, it appears as though X-Men, Dark Phoenix, and New Mutants are being canceled. The reports are that Disney that Disney had a say in the cancellation of these movies. Partly because of that, but people are saying that actually that's not the reason why they're being canceled. It's not because Disney's buying Fox, but because of supposedly how bad the films are. Both both have completed filming. There's supposed to be reshoots in the works, but a new rumor is saying that basically since the Disney deal is already done at the time that this came out, they hadn't voted yet.
Mm-hmm.
The people at both studios wanted a clean slate, so New Mutants and X-Men Dark Phoenix won't be released. It's said that they were both, quote, atrocious and like worse than Fantastic Four.
Oh,
Jesus.
that's an
With
accomplishment.
a bad storyline and acting, supposedly the cancellation will come after the announcement will come after the announcement of the vote, which happened this past Friday. So we'll just wait for the official confirmation on that. But in regards to the movies, in New Mutants, it appears that director Josh Bone didn't care about comic books, but just wanted to make a superhero horror film. It said that an actor, Anya Taylor-Joy, had issues with other actors on the set, and they were going to reshoot about half the movie. And Fox wasn't happy at all with that. And then with Dark Phoenix, it's quoted the employee who this rumor comes from said, quote, "Worst spinoff ever." And cast seemed to phone their performances in. It said that they'll be shelved and possibly released years later, after X-Men has already been set up with Marvel Studios. But they said that it's probably going to leak online before then, since people have already worked on the project and basically almost finished it, really. Other things relating to that, Channing Tatum's Gambit won't be happening. Sorry, I lost my spot here. So Channing Tatum's Gambit won't be happening. Marvel Studios already has plans, quote, unofficially for Fox-owned characters such as Silver Surfer and Galactus. And then X-Force is going to possibly be retitled by Disney as Deadpool 3 X-Force. And apparently the mutants will be introduced into the MCU in the Eternals movie.
Okay. I guess that makes sense for them to be introduced in Eternals.
I mean, all this is kind of what I was hoping for anyways with Disney buying out 20th Century Fox. It's like they're going to fix this awful track record.
Yeah.
So I was sort of already expecting like a bunch of cancellations and reshoots at the least,
Yeah, it's interesting to see that it sounds like they're keeping Deadpool, which of all of them sounds like the easiest one because he's fourth wall breaking and sort of like he can just be like, hey, they bought me, so now
I got new bosses and they're moving me,
and they don't even have to acknowledge the other stuff, even though Deadpool will,
right? You make fun of it or something.
And the X-Men being introduced in the Eternals is interesting. One thing I noted one of those notes was interesting was that they talked about plans for the characters. The first ones they said were Galactus and Silver Surfer. So I'm wondering if that's an earlier plan than, say, like the X-Men and etc. Or even Fantastic Four. So that's cool. But also, how bad can these movies be? That Fantastic Four was probably the worst movie I've ever seen. Yeah. It's definitely the worst movie I've seen in theaters. I mean, we talked about it, if you want to go see I don't even remember what episode it was, but it was from 2 years ago now. Mm-hmm. Or maybe even 3 years ago now. Jeez, that came out in 2015, right? Or
that sounds right.
Yeah, so that would be 3 years ago now, around this time. So what's about 100 episodes ago? You can go check our review for that. It's pretty damning.
to say the least.
But I don't know how anything could get worse, but I guess it can.
Yeah.
At least according to Fox. Although I am kind of surprised it's being canceled. Just because, everything's already filmed.
Yeah, but if it's that bad, why release it,
Right. I mean, Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was so bad.
People knew it was bad, and they're like, no, go for it. Release it. Send it out there.
So, that is happening, I guess.
Yeah.
So don't expect any more X-Men films from the Fox series. Looks like Deadpool 2 is the last film they did. And then Logan was the last mutant. I guess Deadpool is mutant, but mainline X-Men.
Yeah.
Yeah, so any other thoughts on these Fox, X-Men, Fantastic Four stuff? No? All right, let's move on then. So, reports are that Carrie Fisher is going to be in Star Wars Episode 9. They're going to use have unused footage of her from when she shot, I think, Episode 8. That will be used in Episode 9. And so they are not going to recast her or use a CG character, according to J.J. Abrams. So they said we have found a way to honor Carrie's legacy and role as Leia in Episode 9 by using unseen footage we shot together in Episode 8. Yeah, they, didn't want to like ruin her legacy or anything. She died back in December of 2016 before Last Jedi came out. And so, yeah, no plans to use her, like use a different actor or recreate her in CGI in any sort of way. So that's kind of cool. In addition to that, there's also confirmation that Mark Hamill will return in Episode 9.
Yeah, I mean,
and Billy D. Williams is returning as Lando Calrissian in Episode 9.
Okay. All right. I'm down with that.
Yeah. And so it begins filming on August 1st, so this week, in London, and opens next year on December 20th, 2019. So, thoughts on these Lucasfilm announcements regarding Star Wars Episode 9?
I'm excited for Lando to make his return.
Lando Calrissian coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I figured they were gonna kind of use Mark Hamill again, but I wasn't sure if like that was officially gonna happen since spoiler alert for Last Jedi, he dies at the end.
Yeah. I mean, Force Ghost. Come on,
right? Yeah,
everybody Force Ghosts around. It's just how it's gonna be.
Like we only know of 4 people who've done it, right?
Yeah, but he probably
Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, Yoda, and then I guess Anakin, right?
Yeah, so if they all could, come on. You're telling me Luke, Mr. Beam myself across the galaxy from my fucking...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like the only one that's done that, right?
As far as we
know, yeah. So,
yeah.
he should be able to on his when he's dead. Force Ghosts. And I don't know, Yoda Force Ghost lightning strike, fucking nonsense. So that can happen.
In Last Jedi,
Luke's gonna fuck somebody up. Force Ghost, just bring down the lightning.
Right.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure just because they killed off Han Solo in Episode 7, and he's not returning. I didn't know if I guess the plan was right to have one of the original cast members as the main person for each film, and Carrie Fisher as Leia was supposed to be for Episode 9, but that's obviously not the case anymore,
right?
Because on her unfortunate passing. But yeah, interesting to see that Billy D. Williams coming back as Lando too.
That's cool. I like it.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not as in like Finn's father, like all the fan theories
are.
Like,
God,
that
no.
Yeah.
There's they could make it cool maybe, but I'm just like not.
Yeah, I'm not into that shit.
Come on.
No.
All right.
Just let them be their own people.
Yeah.
Don't need them to have all these stupid ass fucking connections to. Ooh, look at this person. They're related to this other person. Woo.
Yeah, you can only greatness is only achieved through birth.
Yeah. The only way that you're worth a shit is if you're related to one of these like 10 people.
And you're given a small loan of $1 million.
Yeah. In terms
I mean,
of,
yeah, that's kind of the same concept.
yeah,
right?
basically.
Yeah. But yeah.
That's why they call them achievements, because they're just given to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, yeah. And all the regulars will be returning: Daisy Ridley, Adam Driver, John Boyega, Oscar Isaac. Lupita Nyong'o's coming back. She was in episode 8 for a little bit,
Brief.
like a very short scene. I wonder if that's going to be more in the film. Domhnall Gleeson, Kelly Marie Tran, and I guess Carrie Fisher's daughter, Billie Lourd, is also going to be in it.
All right.
So yeah.
Cool.
Also, Anthony Daniels will return as C-3PO.
Mhm.
Ooh, C-3PO.
So yeah. Star Wars Episode 9 filming starting soon, getting a lot of information. I assume we'll get even more as the weeks and months go on, as we get closer to Episode 9. All right, let's move on. So, final bit of movie news / I guess it's not really a movie. Iron Fist Season 2, a teaser dropped at Comic-Con. They announced a date, and they released a teaser this past week. That's about a minute long, showcasing Finn Jones as Danny Rand, walking down street New York City with crap, no, I can't think of her name.
The buddy cop from the first season.
Yeah. Why can't I think of her name? Anyway, and then gets flashbacks to sort of his time in Con 1. So what are our thoughts on the Season 2 trailer?
It kind of,
teaser, I guess.
yeah, it kind of seems like, from the little bit we saw, it's probably going to be either mostly flashbacks or just straight up like background information about him, I guess. Which, I don't know, is a little weird to me, because they already went over him, his character in Season 1.
But they didn't, though, right? Like,
I guess they established him, and that was like it.
Like
this would be
like
more
one thing I
history.
noticed from the seasons. So first off, that's Jessica Henwick. It's Colleen Wing.
Okay.
Sorry. Also, one thing I noticed is different from all the other like Netflix shows.
Mm-hmm.
There's not that many like flashback scenes in Iron Fist compared to the other ones. So like, for example, and spoilers for all the Defenders like season 1s.
Yeah.
So Daredevil season 1, you've got like flashback to when he's a kid and growing up with his dad, and becoming blind, hearing about all the people on night or whatever, learning from Stick, etc. There's a lot of that, and almost like I would say more than a half of the episodes, right?
Mm-hmm.
In Jessica Jones, there's not as much, but there's like flashbacks to her time when she was being controlled by Kilgrave. There were flashbacks to when she was with her family before the accident. And so there's that. In Luke Cage, there's flashbacks to when he was in prison and when he was experimented on. In Iron Fist, there isn't that really many flashbacks. There's like a flashback to, I guess, spoiler. I already said spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
There's a flashback to the plane crashing from his parents and like getting like taken by the monks.
Mm-hmm.
But that's about it. There's like nothing like
There's the one
like
where
there's
he's,
like almost
walking into the dragon's like lair.
yeah. There's like almost nothing in Kunlun, which is like one of the main complaints people had about season 1. But like other than that, there's not like really much in the way of flashbacks, and sure they explained it, but they didn't show it like they did with the other series. And that's one of the big complaints, was not seeing Kunlun, this place in the show they called this mystical place that's like where you learn kung fu and everything. And I think that would be a great thing to show, like that was one of the things I was excited about in watching it, and then it never happened. You never actually see Kunlun. And so I hope this is like them kind of rectifying that in a sense, but also gives them an excuse to show more like action, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. I guess, I thought there were more, but now that you mention it, there weren't a whole lot of flashbacks. Because a lot of times, I guess he was just like, oh, Kung Lung, like you would mention it or whatever in conversation.
Right.
And he would like always act a little weird because he wasn't used to like modern life or whatever.
Yeah, and everyone was like, oh, that's ridiculous,
like,
right?
He didn't wear shoes.
And it's
like these things.
I think it would have been better if they like actually like showed it and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, he's not actually that ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of played on the sort of comedy they were going for. Like a fish out of water sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like, because you thought it was weird too. Being that you live in modern day, why is he not wearing shoes and shit like that? But, yeah, I guess that makes more sense now. That does sound like a pretty cool movie. I mean, in any case, right, it's Marvel, it's Defenders. They're not going to fuck it up. Like, it's impossible. I refuse to believe it's even possible for them to make
they
a bad
could.
one.
They could.
No,
they have. Like, the thing is, like, I think Iron Fist is probably, according to, like, consensus, is the worst Marvel Netflix show. I still like it.
I mean, it's kind of like having a B and everyone else got an A.
Right. However, I think they've had worse shows, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was like their first like flop? Like I want to say like they had a TV show flop. I thought.
Who?
Marvel.
Inhumans.
Inhumans, right? That's it.
Oh yeah.
See, I forgot about it. That's why, because it was bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like like they've failed before. They just don't do it as often as like DC does with movies. However, we don't really talk about it that much. DC does really well with their TV shows, and that they do deserve credit for that. Since I figure we don't talk about it that much.
It's easy to give them shit,
right? They do well with their TV shows for like CW with like Arrow, Supergirl, etc.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
In any case, I think it's very unlikely.
Yeah.
It's gonna be bad.
Yeah, it'll probably be good.
So yeah. Hoping for the best, hoping for more of what we actually want from Iron Fist.
Yeah, for sure. It'd be cool. It looked like just in that little sequence they were showing with the fist fight, like it looked like they were gonna be really brutal with it.
Yeah, and I liked
they
how
were punching each other, but there was like blood on their
yeah.
uniforms. Like, they were beating the shit out of each other.
I like how they had the Iron Fist mask. And everything,
Yeah.
so,
Like it's not like his costume.
right.
Like it's just what everyone wore
Mm-hmm.
at where he was at,
Yeah.
which kind of adds to his character too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think that's all we have to say, right, on that topic.
Yeah.
So that does it for the movie type stuff this week. Let's get on to some video game type stuff. We have one piece of news this week, really only. No Man's Sky. It is a reportedly better game than when it came out.
That's what I've heard a lot about that, actually.
Due to updates and changes to the game.
Mm-hmm. It's no longer a lifeless corpse. It's like a reanimated zombie now.
Yeah. So thoughts on No Man's Sky and like this sort of rejuvenated like interest in it, because it there was a ton of interest before it came out, and then it came out, and then it got major backlash and dropped off, and now it's coming back, and I'm just curious, like, what are your guys' thoughts on No Man's Skies, if you've like looked into it and what you think about it?
Well, I actually read a few articles on it, and it was pretty commonly believed that the director of the game was just overly ambitious, and that was like the greatest downfall.
Yeah,
He wanted all of these things,
Yep.
and then like basically it sounded like his like departments were like, we can't do that. Like that's not a thing we can program in time or whatever. And he was just overly ambitious. So it's cool that they're working on it again. I was always like, I was actually thinking about getting a PS4 because of No.
It's on Xbox now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it's on
just
PC.
Well, I think it was.
Well, it was always on PC.
Yeah, it was always on
I think
PC.
it was coming out on the PS4 first, right?
Yeah, but it was on PC
I
at
was
the
talking
same
with,
time.
I remember I was working at a local grocery store, Hugo's at the time, and one of my coworkers was like, "Oh, but the PS4, you get No Man's Sky," and I was like, "Oh, that's a good point. I really want that game." And looking back, I was like, "Oh, how foolish I was."
Yeah, and I think it officially released for Xbox this past week.
Yeah, and it's been on PC a little bit longer than that. I don't know if it came out at the same time.
I think it did.
Did it?
I think it came out at the same time.
Okay. But yeah, no, I mean, that interest obviously died pretty quick when I heard what the game actually was. But it sounds like they even got like multiplayer in it now, because that was a huge complaint. They were talking about going around with your friends, and it turns out you can't. But it sounds like they do have multiplayer now. I don't know the exact updates, but I'm interested. I might actually buy that, honestly. I might buy it.
It sounds like
I'm kind of interested.
It sounds like it's got more like resources and stuff. Like one of the major complaints was like how lacking in like stuff. Like it was more like just like a big empty space. And now it sounds like, there's a lot more things to do, like planets and etc. Since you're traveling.
Because I've noticed, I got like a Minecraft server with a few of my friends, and generally I don't do a whole lot of building, but I do a lot of like mining and like gathering of resources, and it's just kind of like relaxing, I guess, in a weird way. Except when a creeper like creeps up on you and kills you, and that's shitty. But No Man's Sky might become that for me if it's any good now. I could see myself just like loading it up, just sitting down and not really doing much, It's the kind of game I'd look for. So I think, next time I can afford it, I'm probably going to pick it up and I'll check it out.
Yeah, I'm probably going to. I might just buy a used copy for PS4.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. But yeah, it looks interesting. I definitely probably don't want to pay full price for it. But
I'm waiting for a sale for sure, because honestly, I don't pay full price for anything.
I guess I don't even know how much it costs.
I'll check here.
But I don't really want to spend like a full 60 or like maybe not even 40. If I'm not saying people are wrong about their new analysis of it, but like considering it was in the past like very much scrutinized, I'm a little hesitant to like go full in on it, right? Like put all my chips on it.
Oh, it's actually 50% off right now
on Xbox.
On Steam.
On Steam.
I don't know. It's probably also 50. I'd assume it's probably 50% off for a while in a lot of places. Seeing that it's been getting a lot of
So what is it at?
$30.
So it costs 60.
It does cost 60 normally.
And it's 30 on sale. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I would spend 60 for that game.
Yeah. I mean, I don't buy any game full price, but
more just not maybe because it's not worth it, but just because I'm not sure it's worth it based on like previous reviews and everything.
Yeah. Maybe I'll find like a Twitch streamer or someone.
Yeah.
Looking at it.
But yeah. It's good to hear that, like developers work to improve a game.
Yeah, like that's because that was also in a few articles I read how a lot of people are surprised. Most companies, when they have like a shit game like that comes out, they'll just like forget about it.
Yeah,
they'll drop it. They'll move on. They'll be like, too much work to work on that. Let's just come up with a better idea, basically, which is fine too, I guess. But it is really like awesome that he cares so much about it that he's not just dropping it like that. Like he's not like, well, that was a flop. He was just like, he goes back to it and he's like actively improving it instead.
Yeah,
I mean, that's honorable.
I mean, that's the right thing to do,
Yeah. I mean, especially when you've disappointed a lot of people. Not just like it's bad for your business because you didn't make money.
Right.
But he bummed out a lot of people. And this is kind of mending that a bit.
Right. Yeah. So that leads us into our juice topic for the week. Games that got better after their release. So games that, had like maybe a terrible launch, were kind of crappy. And then after so much time, they've gotten much better feedback, much better, I guess, reviews. Supposedly a higher quality than when they were released. So what are some games that stick out to you and like why they're better?
I would Rainbow Six Siege is an example, a pretty good example. I don't really play the game. I'd never bought it. I've only like played it like free weekends here and there, stuff like that. But that game's gotten. I played it during the beta, and the free weekend I played was much better, I would say. And I've just hearing or looking around online, the game's still consistently played. People are watching it. People are still playing it to this day. So it's kind of it's been able to come from a game that was had a lukewarm reception to like a game has a solid, dedicated fan base. And you kind of need that for like a multiplayer game, of course. So I think that one for sure.
Well, it's nice to see that kind of stuff too. I guess as an example, a lot of games, like updates coming out just means like DLC, like stuff you have to pay for, like Destiny or something like that. But with games like Overwatch or No Man's Sky, I guess is a good example now. Just releasing that stuff for free,
is
really awesome. Content. Yeah, I mean obviously it helps them a lot too, as a company, like improves their company face.
I think maybe that's like the more Overwatch model of like you have a bunch of stuff you can buy, but it's none of it's gameplay, and just releasing new content for free. I think for like at least FPS titles, that kind of multiplayer game. Destiny, it's a little different because it's more of an MMO-ish, so they can kind of get away with charging you like $60 or some nonsense for DLC. I don't know how much the DLC actually is, but for some of it looked like it was the full price of the game. So, but like for I think they're doing that for the next Battlefield, I believe, where none of the maps cost money,
right?
And there's no loot boxes either, apparently.
Yeah, so no loot boxes. There's still microtransactions and that, like buying all the kits.
Yeah, you can buy, and I think like buying cosmetic items. Overwatch does loot boxes, but it's essentially the same thing because that's
you just get like skins and emotes and whatever.
But so that I see is kind of the direction, because that makes it a little easier to keep your player base isn't fragmented for one. And so just keeping a consistent player base, I think, is important right now.
Well, like I guess the more I think about it too, like simplifying it a bit more, like the kind of model to make money when you release new content is just make them pay for that new content if they want it. But I guess the only thing Overwatch does differently is that they get all their money through cosmetic items, and all they have to do is make sure you're still interested in the game.
Yeah.
Like it's just a different fuel source, basically. Like the way they're fueling it is by like releasing a few cosmetic items. Oh, I want that. You spend like $60, bam.
Yeah.
And that's how they're getting all these like different game modes and maps being worked on, how they're paying everyone.
Yeah, and that works, but you also have to have like a base game there that's really good. Like,
right, you have to have a base game, and you have to hold interest on that base game.
Like, there's a lot of games that try to do something like that, but the game itself is bad, and then it's just like, okay.
No one's going to buy the cosmetic items.
Right,
and then,
it's like, why would you do that for a game you don't like to play? One game that has gotten better since it came out, I want to say, is like Halo, the Master Chief Collection.
Oh, yeah, of course. Well, that was broken when it came out.
Like, so... like I know it's just like like it's just like fixing server, but like not just like that, just like the whole like matchmaking is just a lot better, the campaign stuff, etc. The fact that they now have ODST out instead.
I wish ODST's firefight would have been there too.
Yeah, I wish.
Like I really wanted that, but
that's what I really spend all my time playing ODST.
Yeah, I mean I did beat the campaign on Legendary,
for
but
sure.
It's still.
Right.
I lost that profile though, so I have no proof, and I'm really sad about that.
Yeah.
We beat it together.
We did. It was fucking awful.
That elephant part.
Yeah, horrible.
Just driving into enemies and exploding.
One of the worst experiences.
And this is like a kind of sort of an extension of just Microsoft in general, but like, making updates. So for like
the Xbox One itself much better than what it
Yeah,
was.
yeah. With and then adding Xbox and One X enhanced, for old games like X Master Chief Collection, etc.
Makes me want to get a One X,
yeah.
but maybe I will get one if I make some good cash selling all these PS4s that I'm getting. But,
Yeah.
Update on JJ's life. He's a scalper now.
Yeah.
If you don't know what that is, you buy something limited edition and sell it at a much higher price than they're out of stock.
Hey, I'm probably only gonna sell them for $5.50. Or if I
Really?
can if I can get away with it, I'll sell them for as much as I can, of course.
Yeah.
But
I can't really blame you.
Yeah.
You're getting a lot of money from it.
Yeah. I just want them, as long as I can make $100 a console, I'm good, pretty much. That's about all.
Okay.
That's my goal. Anything above that is great.
Yeah. The more I've thought about it though,
Yeah.
I'm not really as worried about it as I was before. People do, because it's very dependent on everyone buying it out.
Yeah.
Because if, for example, you bought 5,
Mhm.
and then the release date came, they still had more, you'd
Yeah.
be fucked.
Well, not exactly, because they'd probably sell out then.
I mean,
Maybe.
Yeah.
it's
Depends on how many they made. But
Right.
if
Yeah.
Amazon,
If they make enough.
yeah. I mean, if Amazon's already out of stock, I wouldn't.
I mean,
don't know
Amazon's
if
pretty popular though.
Yeah.
To buy
Yeah.
things, but I don't know.
I mean, they would probably get a pretty big share of the, in
Yeah,
comparison to online retail. Not a lot. I don't think GameStop's online site gets that many orders because they don't really offer free shipping, for example.
I mean, it's kind of an impossible scheme to lose out on entirely.
Yeah.
Even if, let's say, there were a ton of extras and you couldn't sell them at higher than the price, you could sell it for $5 cheaper
Yeah.
and still get your money back.
Oh yeah, of course. So I mean, it's not. And people are already selling them for more. So,
was
but
way
yeah,
off
if I can
topic,
get,
but yeah.
I can get an Xbox One X maybe, and then I could experience
There you go.
Master Chief Collection
Yeah.
And it's
and
glorious.
4K. I have the 4K TV too.
Glorious
It's perfect.
4K.
Mhm.
I should get a 4K TV.
It's nice. I like it.
Yeah.
Netflix shows look really good, by the way.
I only have Netflix because my previous roommate Trevor hasn't
Kick you off yet?
kicked me off of it.
Yeah.
And it still auto signs in. So the day it stops doing that, I'm fucked. Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Any other games?
I'm trying to think of other ones that
Oh.
that have gotten better since
And we've
launch.
covered kind of the obvious ones.
Yeah.
Stardew.
What?
Stardew.
Started-
Got a multiplayer update,
Oh shit.
and that's free.
I guess this sort of counts. Old ass game now. Warcraft 3 still gets updates every so often.
Really?
Came out in 2002.
Jesus.
Still gets up. It
Wow.
got
What
it
fucking
got.
commitment.
I think it got. It got some updates. The last time I played it, I had to update for it. I don't remember what the updates did. They just did some I think more quality of life stuff.
Do you think a Warcraft 4 would sell?
Yeah, but I don't think they're ever gonna make it
No.
because they have
You know what?
Their
they
player
have
base
they
on
have an
it.
MMO.
Yeah.
So it's
Blizzard is
I mean,
really.
Blizzard can do whatever the fuck they want.
Well, Blizzard is one of the more game as service sort of companies, which is really weird because it's Blizzard Activision, and Activision is the exact opposite. You make a game every
Activision's
year.
every year, and Blizzard's
Yeah.
we'll release one game maybe every 3 years.
And then we'll just send
Improve it.
updates to it. And
I guess that's every Blizzard game, sort of. They kind of do that because StarCraft, I guess, got expansion packs.
right.
StarCraft 2 did,
Yeah.
and Diablo got one as well. But yeah, they just keep pumping stuff out for all of their games.
Mm-hmm. They don't really make sequels.
Well, they do.
They
but
not often.
no, there's not that often. They don't need to. You know.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think that's all I can think of.
So yeah, those are some good games that get better after release, and hopefully, I would say hopefully that continues, but part of that means they
Yeah.
would kind of have to suck at the beginning, which
Yeah.
we don't really want.
Hopefully they don't suck, but they still get better.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that does it for us on this episode of the Clever and Original Podcast. Jay, if you want to find you on the social media sphere, where can they do that?
Come catch me on Twitter at Jayden Reinhart.
And JJ, where can people find you?
On Twitter, JLarson107.
And you can find me at Kayley Misialek on Twitter. You can find us all at Clever_Original on Twitter. And as you are right now, listen to us each and every week on SoundCloud, iTunes, and other podcast services. And we'll catch you next week, guys, in episode 156.